Moving into the final 3 rounds of the season at the close of the Austrian weekend, the fans of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine didn't have long to wait before the drivers ventured back into on-track action. Barcelona awaited the grid, with 4 drivers looking to continue their quest and further their pursuit for the 2025 championship title. Entering into round 8, Prema Racing would debut Chinese talent Wanpu Kui. Fresh from his time racing at Formula 4 level, he gave us his thoughts ahead of his first weekend in the championship.
Yeah, of course, it's always been good to be together with the program and following their footsteps, which is really special.
There would also be driver movements at fellow Italian team RPM. However, rather than new talents, we would see 2 returns. Firstly, Santiago Ramos returning to the championship for the first time since 2023, having captured 2 wins in FIA Formula 3. He gave us his thoughts on returning to the series and RPM team. Reuniting with Ramos at RPM for the first time since 2023 would be French driver Matteo Cappietto. After spending last year racing in LMP2 and most notably the Le Mans 24-hour, he gave us his thoughts on moving back into single-seater competition.
It's a pleasure also to be back with those guys, the guys who have been racing about 2 years ago now. So yeah, it feels like home, so it's great.
With the lion's share of movements largely centred around RPM entering the Spanish weekend, we caught up with the RPM team manager Keith Donegan, who gave us his thoughts on his and RPM's stance on developing young drivers and the return of both Santiago Ramos and Matteo Cappietto.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big adjustment, I suppose, back for them. Santiago was in F3 the last 2 years, higher downforce, more power, and Matteo was doing LMP2 with a lot of downforce also. So it's a big adjustment. They had 2 sessions. 1 set of new tyres, so it was a learning curve for the first qualifying again, because when they did the championship was also a different compound. So yeah, hopefully we can make a step forward tomorrow. That's what we're looking for, yeah.
As Friday got underway, collective testing commenced with a blanket of top times coming through from Trident's Italian ace, Matteo De Carlo, taking both collective test 1 fastest time of a 1:36.048 and then also collective test 2's fastest lap with a 1:36.327, sending a clear message to his fellow title rivals before qualifying had even begun. As Saturday got underway, the spectators in the grandstands were treated with not just fantastic weather conditions, but also a compelling qualifying session full of intrigue. With Group A, as usual, heading out first and setting the pace with Prema's title contender Freddie Slater laying down the benchmark time of a 1:35.250, with RAce GP beyond a 10th away, with Enzo Dellini in second and his teammate Jin Nakamura in 3rd place. Group B then went out to bid to challenge Freddie Slater's effort, with 2 of the championship contenders featuring in the top 2 places in Group A. The same could also be said for Group B. Trident's Matteo De Carlo would land the top time in the group of a 1:35.279, with Van Amersfoort's Pedro Clero in second and De Carlo's teammate Nandavad Birambakti in 3rd. With a gap of 29 thousandths of a second between the 2 fastest drivers, Freddie Slater would obtain his 4th pole of the season and line up alongside Matteo De Carlo on the front row.
Yeah, obviously a nice way to get the job done this morning. Obviously we've got a long way to go still, but this afternoon's race should be pretty interesting as well. I think the degradation will be a key thing, like normal at Barcelona. So yeah, it will be good fun, and I look forward to that one.
So yeah, for sure we are pretty fast here in Barcelona. It's been a bit, a shame to lose pole position just for 2000. So yeah, but we'll see later on in the race if we can manage to win and overtake Freddie.
As now the green flag gets waved, we await the lights to go red here at Barcelona. All 5 lights are lit. And let's pedal to the metal, and it's go, 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 go. Great start for Freddie Slater as he leads the way. Matteo De Carlo equally getting a good jump too, and onto the grass. A great start for Enzo Dellini, but he's on to the green stuff, and in comes now out of nowhere Jin Nakamura. 2 RAce GPs fighting for the front, but Matteo De Carlo leads the way in a front wing loss for Enzo Dellini. My goodness me, that is absolutely devastating for Enzo Dellini. He's going to have to come in and get that change, but more importantly, it's Matteo De Carlo getting the jump on Freddie Slater here at Barcelona, 4 wide coming in towards turn 4 this time as well. Dellini part of it as he's now in free fall, making his way down through the order. That is a disaster for Renzo Dellini. His teammate Jin Nakamura also getting a busy getaway and storming into third place here as now it's wheel to wheel now. Further back we got Pedro Clero trying to fight firm. He has now made his way into fourth as well. We got the number 7 of Nandavid Birenbakhti being met by Evan Gilter. In comes Michael Belov, the sole CL Motorsport car here this weekend as they now climb the hill through towards Kamsa corner now. De Parlo, Slater, Nakamura, Clero, Bedrin also part of this as well. Further back we have the 55 of Dion Gauda currently going to work at the moment. This time joined by Canato Ley, also Santiago Ramos getting a busy start as well. There's Nikita Bedrin in the number 10. Santalok also trying to creep his way through just in behind Canato Ley as they come up through towards Bank Sabadell this time. We've got the RPM also be part of the championship fold. Slater just tracking Matteo De Parlo at this point, and it's wheel to wheel between Pedro Clero and Jin Nakamura in towards turn 1. Long way around the outside here for Pedro Clero, the Brazilian with the tightest of lines. Pulls off the move now and into third place he goes. Great move there from Pedro Clero. Further back, here comes Dion Gauda, now under pressure here from Santiago Ramos around the outside, and Ramos on his return, not quite able to make the move happen. Inside line though, goes for the swapper, the Mexican, trying his luck, but unable to do so. Great defensive driving there from Dion Gauda. As well, we got a bit of a mishmash further back as well. Now this is Nikita Bedrin, onto the gravel goes Michael Belov. And in all of this, I think that must be Akshay Bora also part of this as well. He's dropped down to P13. So it's lighting up further back. So as opposed to having quite vast gaps further up the rostrum, we've got close battles here further down. And this is all about the placings just outside the main points paying positions. Here comes Akshay Bora now in the rear of the number 10 of Nikita Bedrin. A big switcheroo there for Akshay Bora, trying to be creative here through turns 1 and turns 2. And also further back, we have a bit of a close quarter action with Ruiki Liu and also Edu Robinson as they come through out of turn 3 through turn 4. And it's Nikita Bedrin still maintaining P11. Another look this time as well from the number 5 Trident driver. Robinson on his inside. Ruiki Liu trying to thread the needle here for the Trident team and make his way past the G4 Racing car. He's going to try again now, going heavy onto the brakes coming in towards turn 7, but nothing doing. As we now rejoin. Oh my goodness, Slater running wide coming through the final 2 corners, and that now opens the door for Pedro Clero. The podium battle now renewed. And it will resume with Pedro Clero now closing up on the back of Freddie Slater. The championship leader might be in jeopardy here. He has a look in the mirrors from left to right. And now here comes Clero this time to the outside. The Brazilian looking to punch a hole around the outside coming through turns 1 and turns 2. Clero now fending him off again. Now it looks like the Slater has the upper hand. Just managed to keep the car under control. They came so close to contact. Here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, and now set to take a 4th win in the series, and taking in also in process the championship lead. He beats Freddie Slater here at Barcelona. It's Matteo De Parlo, your winner here at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya to open up the weekend. Pedro Clero, a brilliant 3rd as well behind Slater, despite closing at the very end. It wasn't quite enough to make the move, though. He tried his best. Nakamura finishing a brilliant 4th ahead of Nandavid Birenbakhti, his best result of the season for the other Trident driver. And we have got Taito Kato, highest of the ARTs in 6th ahead of Evan Gilter. Rashid Al-Dahiri finishing in the points.
So yeah, in the start, I know that I could have some chances there. Because also if we go to see back in the races, my starts have been really good from the beginning of the championship, so I was really confident to go to race 1. So yeah, we are really happy of the day. We had to improve a bit in quali because this morning I think we got also pole position, not just in the group. But yeah, we will work hard tonight to fine-tune the last things, and let's see if tomorrow we can repeat us.
Yeah, not a good start. That was the main issue, and then obviously then it's very hard to overtake here. We tried to manage the deg as best as we can and try and go forward, but yeah, you know, it's always going to be tricky when you're fighting at the front with the front boys because we're all close in time, so it's very hard to make a difference.
Oh yeah, I mean we had a good race today. Obviously starting P4, I didn't have a very good start, but yeah, after things settled down, we were really quick, and I managed to get past Nakamura with a really nice move, and then yeah, I started to manage a little bit in the beginning, and then yeah, I could push a little bit more towards mid to the end of the race. So yeah, no, very happy, very happy. I think we showed really good pace. We catch Matteo and Freddy quite a bit. It's unfortunate we couldn't get past Fred, but yeah, that's how racing goes. We need to score points. So the championship is becoming a fun thing now with everyone being in the mix, and I think we did our job today.
Yeah, it was a pretty tricky race. Not much overtaking going on, but lacked a little bit of pace, but it was okay. Just need qualifying to go a little bit better. But yeah, happy with the rookie win.
Heading into Sunday, the sunshine conditions became an element of the past. As rainfall descended in the early hours of the morning, it left the circuit in a damp state, making an optimal lap in qualifying 2 for the drivers additionally challenging. Rising above it though, as Group B took to the circuit first, would be Van Amersfoort Racing's Pedro Cleiro. The Brazilian would land a 1:53.773 and mastermind an enormous near 7/10 gap ahead of ART's Evan Gilter in second, with Trident's Mathieu De Paulo 2.2 seconds back in third. Unlike the day before, however, the first group entering out on track wouldn't land pole position, as RACE-GP's Enzo Dellini would go fastest in Group A with a 1:53.250. He would ultimately finish 6/10 ahead of RACE-GP's Akshay Bora, with new team CL Motorsport celebrating third in the group with Michael Belov. As qualifying 2 came to an end, Enzo Dellini would claim his third pole position of the season, and it also confirmed that all 4 title challengers would land fastest times in their respective groups at least once during the course of the weekend in qualifying.
Well, obviously it's always a big what if in the wet. You know, the last time we were qualifying in the wet was Antwerp, where we had good memories, and I think today we could, you know, show again that we have very good pace. It's unfortunate we couldn't get overall pole, but I think the track for us was a lot slower, and I mean, yeah, the track was only drying. So overall, I can be happy. I'm not very happy with my lap, to be fair, because I still think I had a bit more in it, and I think that maybe would have been enough to clinch Enzo. But yeah, I mean, overall, we cannot complain.
Yeah, it was really tricky because even if there wasn't so much rain, the lap times were a lot slower. So I think it felt really bad for everyone. It felt even really bad for me, but even, I don't know, with the feeling that I had no grip, it was still pole position by 6/10. So yeah, honestly, thanks to the team because they did a great job with the setup, I think. And yeah, I'm happy to get this lap for sure.
Drop the checkered flag at the end of this season. The Alpine safety car now carries on, so now the front runners will peel off, commencing the race under the safety car. And the lineup in single file, no overtaking during this period. And because it's a wet track, they have asked the drivers to ensure that the lights are on the cars. So the entire grid will, of course, conform to it, and they'll make their way down through towards turn 1 as we settle them down into as they now come down through towards turn 10. The safety car coming in this lap, so we will get back to green action. And then down the straight as they round the final bend this time. Cleiro watching him through his visor. They're going to put pedal to the metal, and it's go! Go, 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 go. Great start for Dellini. Also a decent start for Cleiro. They all run single file all the way down through towards turn 1. They remain in formation as they charge through towards the first corner apex under green flag conditions. Freddie Slater now further back as well, looking to try and make a hard charge, trying to prevent the ongoing encroachment here as well. And also it looks like Rashid Al-Lahiri's trying to garner a move here on Jack Beaton, his own teammate, and it looks like Rashid Al-Lahiri's going to try it around the outside. The Aussie from the Gold Coast under pressure now as we watch them. 2 Prema drivers under pressure, one of them from their own teammates here, Freddie Slater. Also Mathieu De Paulo with them as well. Jin Nakamura manacled now with the number 6 of Hiyu Yamakoshi as they start to duel now, coming through out of turn 4. Still at the moment beaten, managing to keep Rashid Al-Lahiri behind, and Rashid Al-Lahiri now under pressure from Taito Kato. Of course, this time Rashid Al-Lahiri once again under pressure from Taito Kato. Al-Lahiri trying to take the place back in front from Taito Kato, but he tries the up and under, and it's given him some respite here, Jack Beaton, but Taito Kato now once again side by side, but onto the gravel. My goodness me, or is that Kanato Lay? In fact, I do apologise, and that was Kanato Lay who was in the mixer on that. And as a whole, I think he's now found himself around Juan Pu Kui. So I do apologise, wrong ART. In fact, the other one was Taito Kato with Jack Beaton. As we see Evan Gilter coming down into the braking zone in turn 1, and here we are. There is the 45 of Jack Beaton meeting the 89 of Taito Kato now, and Taito Kato has brushed past Beaton for P10. There's Juan Pu Kui taking the escape road as well, heading up through turns 1, 2 and later turns 3. As they now fly through the first sector, and now we can just see a Prema running off very wide. Now, goodness me, who is that? I believe that is Juan Pu Kui again, and now Dion Garda moves through, so we'll take a look at this once more. Oh, that's something different. That's Giovanni Maschio. And a yellow flag is out at turn 11. Giovanni Maschio with a rear left suspension issue, the tyre removing from the chassis of the car, the Tatas 2318 chassis. Running cars right now, and you can just see Giovanni Maschio still sat in his car at the moment. To manage the restart here as they come through the final corner now. Bringing an end to the safety car period. We will be green again. They'll put pedal to the metal for the second time in this race now, and it will be Delaney charging down through towards turn 1. Clearo only 3/10 behind, might have a chance here with the use of push to pass if he has it available to him. Of course, many drivers do choose to prefer to use it at the very end. Evan Gilter trying to cover off Michael Belov, who has a look up the inside as well for CL Motorsports as they fly through turn 1. Unsuccessful Michael Belov, but there is side-by-sides elsewhere. Jin Nakamura tying up this time as well with Taito Kato as they came through the first sector, and I think Taito Kato might have got the upper hand in that exchange. They now come down through towards turn 4, and yes, I think he has, as they now go wheel to wheel elsewhere. Here comes Freddie Slater on Matteo De Paulo. A battle over the championship lead right now, and he might go for the double here, Freddie Slater, as he now goes wheel to wheel with Michael Belov coming in towards turn 5. The Prema now swiftly moving up the inside, and Matteo De Paulo looking to follow them through as well, and Slater into P5 here at Barcelona, and De Paulo looking to do the same as they come uphill through Vert Curve, rising up through the ranks, the highest part of the course, as they now shoot downhill. Matteo De Paulo can't quite unhook Belov just yet, but just look at that from Freddie Slater. 2 moves made in 1 sector alone, and he's now in P5 as De Paulo looks to take the long way around as they come through towards turn 10. Now floating up through turn 11. They creep and peep up through towards turn 12. Slater holding firm at the moment, but it looks like at the moment Belov trying every which way. And now down the long straight once again, Delaney 8/10 clear at the moment. A little bit wide there as well. We just saw a car skipping off into the gravel. I think that might have been Michael Belov. That could be inviting here once again for Matteo De Paulo. Yamakoshi and Kato also together as well at the same time. And Nakamura and Jack Beaton also looking to stretch their legs as well. Here comes Belov and Matteo De Paulo. We got side-by-sides as well. Yamakoshi coming under fire from Taito Kato, who moves up a place again. He now raises the stakes. De Paulo looking all over the back of Michael Belov. Can't quite find his way through, but a great move for Taito Kato, who moves into 8th ahead of Van Amersfoort's Hiyu Yamakoshi. Great move there from Kato, and his wheel to wheel once again further back. That's Jack Beaton under fire from Kanato Lay, who's taken the long way round here, and Kanato Lay coming through turn 4 and ferrying his way ahead of Beaton for P12 here in this stage, and is now on the tail of Rashid Al-Dahiri. We've got our race leaders now making their way down through towards turn 1, and look at this from Pedro Clearo right in the wheel tracks of Enzo Delaney. And for Delaney, it's going to be very hard for him to shake Pedro Clearo at this point. The young Brazilian, 18 years of age from Brasilia in Brazil, a 3-time Brazilian champion in 2018, 19 and 21. Winning the Brazil Cup, winning the Brazil Open Cup in 2020 and 2021 at the same time in karts. Making his single-seater debut in Brazilian F4, winning the title with 7 wins and 11 podiums, and looking to continue his run. Now in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, but a lock-up there on the front left, and that could cause a problem. He'll forfeit a little bit of time through that, but as now once again Akshay Bora going uber defensive up the inside. We saw Gilter a little bit of a frantic manoeuvre Obviously, I think he was keen and destined to go up the inside, and now really riding that rear wing on that R-Race GP car. Bora doing a stern job in defending this now, but Giltert really glued to the back of his car this time and looks around the outside coming through Campson corner. A narrow line taken by Akshay Bora, which will, of course, cause him to lose perhaps a little bit of momentum coming down in towards turn 11. Now through out of turn 10, and again Giltert going very shallow in towards the apex of the corner before venturing through turn 11 up towards turn 12. Slater being invited into the fight, and now going wheel to wheel now with Giltert. Around the outside goes Freddie Slater, looking to move up into 4th place, but can't do it. Just ran it a little bit too wide, and Giltert covered it off down the inside of this Barcelona race. Pedro Cliro also fighting for the race lead against Enzo Dellini. It's a free-for-all for the podiums, and here comes Giltert now around the outside, looking to go wheel to wheel with Akshay Bora. Goes off the track, takes the escape road, will come out in front, you'd think, of Akshay Bora here in this instance. Now whether he'll have to give the position back, I'm not quite sure. As they now make their way down through towards turn 4, this time it looks like he is going to give it back, at least for now, as they now come in towards the apex of the corner. Back into 3rd goes Akshay Bora, and here comes Freddie Slater. Around the outside he goes now, wheel to wheel, coming down in towards turn 5. Slater now with the nose in front, the Prema's in front, and Slater moves into 4th. And if you want to exacerbate that, we've had plenty of podium sitters as well, not to mention 7 pole sitters through the course of the campaign. And Dellini looking like for now he's managed to marshal off the attack from Pedro Cliro. This young driver from China and France, that's his nationality, French-Chinese, hailing from Shanghai, China though, however, as Bora goes defensive against Slater again this time. A slight lock-up there from Akshay Bora as they continue their fight over P3, but it's all eyes to the front as Enzo Dellini with Cliro manacled to the back of his R-Race GP. He's going to return to the top step once more for a 3rd time this season. 3's not a crowd for Enzo Dellini as Slater makes a mistake, and through goes Evan Giltert into 4th. My goodness me, drama right at the bitter end as Akshay Bora makes it R-Race 1 and 3. Giltert in 4th, Slater down in 5th. My goodness me, a blockbuster to close out Barcelona. This is what happened. He ran wide of the apex coming through turn 13 and forfeiting that P4 position to ART's Evan Giltert. His highest finish in a long, long time, Evan Giltert. But it's Enzo Dellini who hits the heights of the top step once again.
Yeah, it was quite a tricky race, to be honest. I had a lot of tire degradation, and Pedro was really quick, so it wasn't easy, but no, I think I managed it well. I didn't push the tires too much in the end and tried to limit the sliding. And yeah, behind they were, you know, like we were just me and Pedro just by ourselves. So honestly, you know, the pace was still good, and obviously I'm really happy to bring home the 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we showed once again that we were the fastest car on track. I mean, it's unfortunate not to get the win, but honestly, I'm quite happy with the points. I think it's the 2nd weekend in a row that we scored the most points, and we showed our pace on track, and that's what matters, you know. I think overall we can be happy of the progress we've been doing in the last few races. I think we're you know, getting stronger and stronger every race, so the championship fight is more than on, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it was a very tricky race. I lacked a bit of pace and was fighting from lap 1 pretty much. A bit close in the end, but I think it's good to pull it off, and especially after a day like yesterday and a Sunday in Red Bull Ring, it's nice to kind of break away from 2 bad results.
Yeah, it was tough. Overtaking was quite difficult at the track. So yeah, really just got a good start, managed to make a couple of overtakes, and then sat there for the whole race pretty much.
With the Barcelona weekend at a close and 2 rounds remaining, the championship has only got tighter. With now nothing separating both Prema Racing's Freddie Slater and Trident's Matteo De Palo, both sharing 226 points apiece at the top of the championship table. And 28 points behind them feature both R-Race GP's Enzo Dellini and Banama Sports' Pedro Cliro, both sharing 198 points apiece. The 4-way dance will continue as we head to Hockenheim for round 9 for the penultimate round of the 2025 season. We'll see you in Germany.